Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the 6 Yard Banter. Your front row seat to the Premier League's top six drama with a Chelsea twist. Here, it's Chelsea first and rivals next. What a crazy couple of days it's been in the Chelsea universe. From Redknapp putting Garnacho on blast after Brentford's equalizer, to Maresca dropping tactical gems about Joao Pedro and Liam Delap, to Bayern Munich sniffing around Raheem Sterling on deadline day, and on top of that, Brentford's goal controversy and Bayern's big word ahead of our clash. Plenty to unpack, so let's get right into it. So let's begin with Jamie Redknapp's comment about Garnacho. After Brentford equalized, Redknapp basically said Garnacho fell asleep, didn't track his man, and left Carvalho wide open at the back post. His words were sharp, saying, "That's your job, don't lose him. If he gets in behind you, it's on you." Okay, so this is my take on what Jamie Redknapp said about Garnacho, yeah? I actually agree with Redknapp to an extent. If you're dropping into the box to defend, you have to be switched on, which Garnacho wasn't. And that lapse cost Chelsea. But let's be fair here. The main defenders, they were just circling around the goalkeeper in Sanchez, almost marking space rather than men. And we all know any little nudge on Sanchez in that position, especially in the goalpost, okay, would be a foul in favor of Chelsea. And the Chelsea players didn't take initiative to that, okay, and failed to pay attention to what was happening behind them. So yeah, Garnacho deserves some blame, but not to the full extent like Jamie Redknapp has actually placed it. It's a collective lapses, and I feel that's what we should focus on, because I think we had the same issue last season where Chelsea had lapses in concentration, and it's starting to become a crack and something to take notice of. Anyway, that's what I believe happened. I think it's a lapse in concentration and not entirely on Garnacho. Now, moving on, talk about Raheem Sterling. The deadline day always throws up some wild ones, and here's one for you. Bayern actually inquired about Raheem Sterling while negotiating with Chelsea for Nicholas Jackson, but Sterling wasn't too keen on the move. He didn't fancy going abroad, and to be honest, maybe not even it doesn't. It just looks like he doesn't want to move away from London. And this is his thing, yeah. Is it about not moving away from London? He just wants to remain in London because of his family, which is one thing. But then again, you also have to put your career into consideration. If you're going to settle for clubs in London and not focusing on your career while you still have the time, because at some point you're going to have to retire, and it's nearing the back end of his career. So why is he not making the most of it? He's still got a couple of years, at the most 4 years, okay, to play at the very top. And an opportunity or an offer from Bayern Munich coming his way, anyone will be happy to play in Bayern Munich. And I feel like, in as much as he's worried about leaving his family behind, I'm sure that he, the family will also have to put that he's nearing retirement, and will have to put that into consideration and give him the blessings for him to go and play the last moment of his career. Okay, it just shows that Bayern were really, really active as well, and wanted to cover up for the injury that plagued Musiala. Let me know what you guys think about that. So Maresca has also talked about his his tactics and system. He says because of the injury that's Liam Delap has had recently, or that has placed Liam Delap on the sideline, it is now difficult for him to be able to implement his plan or his principle of play to the fullest. His ideal setup when Chelsea are facing a deep block, he said having a proper nine and Joao Pedro behind, like we did against West Ham and Fulham, is the perfect situation for Joao Pedro. What he's trying to say in this is that Maresca wants Joao Pedro close to the goal, not isolated out wide. Liam Delap was a key part of this tactical plan, but now that Liam Delap is out injured, it just looks like Joao Pedro is just going to have to fill in the gap for in the absence of Liam Delap. And he's not that physical like Liam Delap is. And if you notice in the game against Brentford, it showed that a physical presence up top was really, really missing. This, like I said in the last video, was the situation that Chelsea faced last season. When Jackson got injured, we did not have someone else to replace him. And even when Jackson was misfiring, there was no one on the bench that we could call on to push Jackson. We had to go to Christopher Nkunku. And Christopher Nkunku is not an out and out striker. He's someone whose game is similar to that of Joao Pedro. And this now happens to be it's now a reoccurring situation, something that is repeating itself again. I think that I think that the sporting directors has actually put Enzo Maresca in a very, very tough and bad position. I'm sure they were all. He must have brought them all or fueled them on everything that has to do with his tactics and his system. And having that in mind, we all know that we have a lot of game, and with very, very minimum or little rest. Chelsea never had preseason to prepare for the season. After the World Cup, they only had 2 weeks left into the before the Premier League resumed. And on top of that, there was hardly any time to to prepare. Like, you know that it is impossible to operate with just one out and out striker and one utility player up top. Ideally, we need two out and out strikers, like one Liam Delap and another that would take the place of Liam Delap or any other person. Should there be a case of injury or tactical issues or something? Okay, and then he mentioned how they've had to carefully manage new arrivals like Gerald Hato and Facundo Brunanote. Hato hasn't been thrown straight into the deep, and because it's just arrived from another country. Facundo is still not 100% physically fit, and he's been eased into the squad. Even Estevao, who was out, we also have to factor that into the decisions of the manager. It really shows that Maresca is thinking long-term balance, but at the same time, it highlights why missing out on certain targets during the transfer window is actually hurting or undoing his plans for the season. He has a very clear plan, but the board did not fully match it in the transfer market. Now let's now address the controversial draw between Brentford and Chelsea. So the Premier League ref Damon Gallagher on Brentford's goal not being ruled out for offside. I think it's a good goal. Being in an offside position isn't an offense in itself. Has it touched the ball? No. Has it interfered with an opponent? I think not. Okay, so Let's look at the picture. So this is the picture that showed that Ouattara was in an offside position. And we all know that a throw-in, if there's an incident where there happens to be a throw-in and the player was in an off, there is no offside in a throw-in when there's an incident of throwing. Now, the only time that there will be an offside is if the player who threw the ball is intercepted by the same player, and another player of the same team is in an offside position and he interferes or touches the ball or interferes with play. Now, the long ball was thrown right into the box 18, and you can see that the Brentford's player flicked the ball while Ouattara was in an offside position. It was even deeper in than Reece James. He attempted to touch the ball or play the ball, which he missed. How is that not interfering with the play? He didn't touch the ball because he missed it. It did not mean that he did not make or approach the ball. Not touching the ball doesn't mean that the player is free of the offside rule. If he's in an offside position and he makes a move to approach, the method of making the move to approach the ball puts you in the offside position, makes it a foul. And the decision on that note should be given against Ouattara. But this is the problem. Once it has anything to do with Chelsea, everyone or most people, because of their biased mind and the fact that a lot of people don't like Chelsea, they always try to make it difficult for Chelsea. That's just it. Because the normal rule says that if you interfere with play and you're in an offside position, it rules you to be offside. The player made the move. He doesn't necessarily have to touch the ball before he's adjudged to be off. So it's just somehow when it comes to decisions that has to do with Chelsea. Anyway, so let me know what you guys think about what I've said as regards the offside thing and what the ref has said. Do you think it's right? Do you think it's wrong? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Let me know in the comment section below. Now let's talk about Bayern's Mark Earl said as regards facing Chelsea in the Champions League. He said, "I'm really excited for Wednesday's match. I think Chelsea deserve to be the Club World Cup finalists with their incredible energy. They haven't gotten any worse since then. On the contrary, they will of course have become even more stable. But this energy is precisely our game too. That's why I believe a very, very exciting, high-quality match awaits us on Wednesday, according to Builds." Now, it's just said that he's buzzing, and I don't know why he said that or what the reason behind saying it, but I agree with him, and I think it's gonna be one game to watch, because even though we are missing out on players due to injury, I still think that we should have enough in Chelsea's have enough in the squad to have a good game against Bayern Munich. For some reason, I still want to back that. I still believe that Chelsea can do a job on Bayern Munich against Bayern Munich, and yeah, it's gonna be really, really interesting to watch. Okay, it's gonna be one team canceling out the other. So yeah, I'll be here tomorrow to give my analysis or my prediction on what to expect and what I expect of the game tomorrow. So don't forget to check out this space tomorrow. Now, finally, on Jamie Gittins. Let's quickly have a quick conversation about Jamie Gittins. It's still very. It's the game. The first half game against Brentford, where Jamie Gittins started. It's still very evident and obvious that he's still making adjustments and trying to get to understand what the manager requires of him and how to he's still trying to understand what the Chelsea game and pattern is all about. And plus the fact that he's raw. So I don't want to be too harsh on him and I don't want to draw the curtains on him and say that we've gotten on ourselves another Mikhail Modric where we just threw money out the window on talent and the amount of money that have been spent on him and only to get what he's offering us. I don't think he's the only one who's struggling with this situation. Other players that have actually moved to the Premier League, like Xavi Simons, even around the Colomwani, and even Florian Wirtz of Liverpool, still struggling to adapt to the intensity and the demands of the Premier League. So yeah, it's gonna take some time, but I think that there's a player in him. We watched him in the preseason against Leverkusen and AC Milan, and it looked like he's got something. He only needs to get to speed, and obviously we'll see what comes out going forward. So that's that about everything that has gone on in the last couple of days, and let me know what you guys think about everything that's been said. What's your take or what you expect in the game against Bayern Munich on Wednesday about Jamie Gittins and what you think as regards the game between Brentford and Chelsea. What you really think as regards to what the ref actually said. So yeah, don't forget to check out this space tomorrow for match preview for the game between Bayern Munich and Chelsea, and then we can also talk about other games that we'll have in the Champions League. Until we meet again, it's Chelsea first and rivals next. Peace.